Going on, White Line Agents? We are at day 4. Remember, I was going to read this book for you, 3 clients in 30 days, and this is day 4 according to this book, and then some other information that I decided to throw in here as well. So today's assignment is define your farm area. Where do you work? Guys, first and foremost, it is a good ethical practice not to try and sell. Yes, we're licensed in the state of Texas. You cannot sell the entire state of Texas. We have got to refine this down. There's different techniques for this. For those of y'all that I've talked to, I recently shot a reality TV series about entrepreneurship and stuff, and one of the words he used was, what was your beachhead strategy? If it was Normandy invasion, where are you going to attack? And that's what we have to decide. And then what you do after that is you grow in concentric circles, okay? So you don't have to try and chase every deal everywhere because you'll end up nowhere. There's an old saying, if you chase 2 rabbits, you'll catch neither. So we're going to talk about your home base for real estate. Every top producer has a farm area. It's not just a neighborhood, it is your marketplace, your test lab, and your billboard. Okay? Main points going through on this one, guys, is we have got to pick our farm area wisely. We need to choose an area that you know or where you want to be the expert. Again, if you're new here and you're new to real estate and you don't really know, find an area of town where you want to be the expert, and that's what you're going to talk about. Here in San Antonio, guys, don't choose all of San Antonio to start with, okay? There's some people that specialize in the south side. There's some people that specialize in Stone Oak. There's some people that specialize in New Braunfels or the SCUC, the Church Civil Universal City area. It just pick an area that is going to be your area to start with. We are going to absolutely blanket that area, okay? Pick a neighborhood, a subdivision, maybe even a zip code that you can actually dominate, guys. I will tell you this, be careful, because a lot of y'all are going to go like, I want to sell $1 million houses, and you're going to go up against some big hitters that have deep pockets and they have budgets that will wear you out. So I would probably not look for those big ones if you're like, hey, I'm only going to sell houses in the Dominion, or I'm only going to sell houses out at the Rim. It's fine if you want to do that, but you're going to be into it for a fight. So make sure you find a good area. A good place to start is your area. I personally live in a neighborhood called Bluffview of Camino Real. I am the HOA president, again, because I get out in my community and do things so people know who I am. But that's a great place to start. There's about 600 homes here. They all sell between, I don't know, 500 and 1.5 million. It's a little tricky to get into those houses, but find your neighborhood, your zip code, subdivision, whatever it is that you want to know, okay, or wherever it is you want to be. And you need to know that area better than anyone. Okay, you need to be the expert. Now, in my neighborhood, that's easy because my wife loves shopping for homes, and if anything hits the market in this area, she shows me, hey, look at this one. But that makes it easy for me to be on that one. But you need to know it, guys. You need to study that neighborhood. You need to know your average sales prices, your days on market, your rental comps, investor activity. Hey, this guy's flipping this house, okay? If you go and look at a house go look at the houses, guys. If that's your area and something hits the market, go look at it. Shoot your video. Get your content. If you're looking at your average sales price or your average days on markets, that's content for yesterday's video, right? We got to shoot a video every day. As you get to know it, you need to know it, okay? And share that you know it, all right? Walk the neighborhood. Now, this is my particular neighborhood. It doesn't have to be your neighborhood where you live, but it just whatever it is, get out there and walk it. Take your dog for a walk around there, drive around there, meet people. I cannot tell you how many times I stop and just talk to the people in the neighborhood. I'm like, hey, do you live here? What's going on, right? Make conversations. Don't be threatening, especially guys. You could scare people that way. But go out there and meet people. Ladies, be safe. All right. A good example is there's a house, I don't know, around the corner from me here, and it's getting run down. The yard is just absolutely dead. The vines are starting to crawl up the house. And I finally saw somebody out there working on that house. Now, I don't go door knocking, so we're going to be smart. But there was a guy outside working on it and pulling down the vines. And so I went by and I introduced myself. I was like, hey, my name's Colin. I live around the corner. I noticed your house and doing some work on it. We really appreciate it. You know, what's going on with the house? And I just started talking to that guy, all right? When you're in your social media, make sure you're following it. If you don't know how to do Google Alerts, you can do Google Alerts. Just Google it, guys. And anytime Bluffview Camino Real comes up in the news anywhere, I get an email. It's real simple. They just email you. Boom, this just came up on the internet. So if anybody mentions your neighborhood, your name should pop up. Whatever your farm area is, if somebody mentions it, your name should be just like right behind it. It doesn't require all these crazy ads and geo-targeting and all that other stuff that you've probably heard all these big gurus talk about. But if you're talking about it, it will naturally filter back to you, okay? So the step one is pick your farm area. Step two is know that area better than anyone. Step three is be consistent in that farm. Guys, I think I've said it every single day on this, is you have consistency as your friend. There's no tricks. Yeah, I mean, yes, there's tricks to social media and SEO and all that kind of stuff, but I'm telling you, being consistent is your trick. That is what Google's looking for. They want consistent new data, constantly being updated. So that is your thing. We got to be consistent. Post about it on social media. If you can door knock, go door knock, guys. If you have a listing in that area, I believe it's Chris Negron. He says 5, 5, 10. It's the 5 houses on one side, 5 houses on the other, and the 10 across the street. Let them know that the house is for sale. You can do mailers to those houses if you have the budget for that, okay? Yeah, you can host open houses. Guys, brilliant idea. You can host open houses. It doesn't have to be your sell. I cannot tell you how many times people call me and they go, hey, I love that house. Can I do an open house for you? I'm like, you absolutely can. Now, what they're trying to do is get the buyer side. I've already got the seller side locked up, but it saves me so much time, energy, money. Make sure you vet them. Make sure you talk to their broker. Make sure you meet them. Make sure, because they are kind of representing you and they're going to be in your seller's house, but you can host your open houses. So if you're brand new and you have nothing, then go find the people that have houses for sale and say, can I host an open house? Go to ChatGPT, type it in, and say, hey, what do I need to do an open house? Go look at our videos on the past of it. Talk to some of the other agents in Whiteline. They're all extremely helpful. They will tell you how to do that. If they're investors, you can talk about the cap rate in the area, the cash flows that you're seeing, the rental market things that are going on. If you're like, hey, everything in this area is renting for X amount, that's what I've noticed, and it's been climbing steadily. You can look up all that information in your MLS, which you should be a member of, all right? If you're talking to homeowners, talk to them about what homes are selling for and what upgrades matter. Guys, you should be in the MLS to the point where you're sick and tired of it. I always find it funny when somebody's been a realtor for 6 months and they're like, hey, how do I do this in the MLS? I'm like, oh my dear God, you should be in that MLS every single day. And you should know the MLS better than I do. And because you are in there looking up things, I promise you there's no combination of the buttons that will make the MLS explode. So go have some fun with it. All right, and the fourth thing, guys, if you're doing the white line twist, so I'm putting in the little white line twist on everything. Our edge is we need to know what the margins are. Show investors which farm areas have the best deals. Right now, real estate investing is tricky. Okay, one of the things I feel like I've been saying, and this is today. I mean, it could change in a few months, but today, a lot of people are calling me saying, "Hey, I want rentals," and I said, "Hey, the best way, or I want to do a BRRRR strategy if you're familiar." And I tell them, hey, if you're going to BRRRR, you're going to need to do some big rehabs because the lipstick flips are just not on the market right now. Nobody's selling those with enough equity in there to actually move them, actually make some money on them on that. So you need to say, hey, if that's one thing I do know about that. What's the edge right now? How do I get this? I was like, hey, look, we can get you a good BRRRR, but we're going to have to do a big rehab on this project. So let's make sure we calculate for that. So those are the 4 things that I want you to think about today when it comes to picking your farm area. You need to pick it wisely. You need to make sure you know what area you're doing and why it matters to you. The second one is you need to know it better than anybody else out there. You need to have the pulse of whatever your farm area is down to a science. Number 3, be consistent with that farm area and with all of your social media posts, with any kind of marketing you do. It needs to start in that farm area so you own it. And then the fourth one is if you're doing the investor angle, make sure you know what you're talking about in that farm area. If you've got an area, you need to know, like my area, like my neighborhood, which I've been talking about. This is not an area for rentals. Like there's no way you're going to make money on a rental in this area unless you can just get a house at a wicked steal, which is not happening in this neighborhood. So this is a great area for flips. You can do some serious upgrades on houses in my neighborhood, and you get some good returns on that. So those are your 4 steps for today. Your call to action today, your task for today is to pick your farm area. I want you to define it. I don't want you to wait. I want you to do that today. Open up the San Antonio map, look at your neighborhood, go in the MLS, look for what's for sale, look at the things that make you feel comfortable. Like, hey, I'm new and I really don't want to sell $1 million houses because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to stick to that $200,000 to $300,000 range. Hey, I really like the South Side because I see a lot of investors down there. Great, find your area. The South Side is not an area. Harlandale is an area. Okay, so make sure you figure that out, and then make sure you get deep and deep and deep into it. That's your job today, is to pick your farm area, make sure you like it, make sure you're comfortable with it, and make sure you know it, because that is what we're going to start, and you are going to become that farm area's expert. Once you're the expert in it, we're going to keep moving out just a little bit more. That's how it works, concentric circle growth. All right, guys, that is day 4. Pick your farm area.